What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 32 of the Block Exploring podcast. Here with me is Tommy, as always. And this week, we're going to talk to you about, Tim Cook, the Apple CEO, announcing that he holds crypto. At the same time, the Discord CEO teasing MetaMask integration. And at the same time, we are observing a DAO-ifying of organizations. And I think a prime example of this was the ENS airdrop that we've seen this past week, which has been, life-changing money for some, and it just shows this tendency for organizations to kind of let their users decide and have this fully decentralized, autonomous experience. Now, moving first to the state of the market, we see Bitcoin breaking all-time highs amidst of the ETF trading. And I mean, there's been a slight correction, but all-time highs have been broken consistently. The same thing has been happening with Ethereum. That's the result of deflationary asset changing. So with EIP 1559, Ethereum has become a deflationary asset, and this has a big effect on the price. Now, at the same time, we're seeing the battle of the chains happen, and we see Solana and Cardano compete for spot number 3 on the top 10 crypto kind of market cap list, with Solana passing Cardano in market cap. A lot of people are speculating that this is because of the fact that Solana actually has applied smart contracts and DeFi applications and NFTs uh, very fast, whereas Cardano has not done this in the past. And this kind of Sol hype train, Solana ticker is Sol, has kind of pushed on to BAT, Basic Attention Token, which is the Brave browser's native token on the Ethereum network. And Brave has announced that they will integrate with Solana due to these low congested networks and with speedy transfers. At the same time, we're seeing major players in the crypto space like Raoul Pal and Gary Vee discuss an upcoming winter while the entire space is bullish. And I think that's a pretty healthy approach. Raoul Pal is saying that in December there will be a kind of dip, especially for altcoins. And Gary Vee is saying that an NFT winter is incoming because there's a lot of market pullback. And people are very greedy for NFTs right now amidst all the hype that's ongoing. So that was the quick roundup of the state of the market. Now on to our first topic. Tommy,
Yes,
Mr. Cook, Apple
the big
CEO,
man.
announces he holds crypto. That's the Apple CEO. So out of all people, I would not per se expect the CEO of the most exclusionary centralized service in the world to hold crypto, but here we go and we have
I
proof
know.
that,
I mean, we already had the richest man in the world, right? Elon Musk. We all
yeah.
know he dabbles in crypto. He even moves crypto in some instances. But
Yeah.
but for the more reserved CEOs out there, the less outspoken CEOs like Tim Cook, who is almost emblematic. He's almost emblematic of one of those quiet CEOs who only like makes the appearances he has to for his company and doesn't do more, and he keeps that clean squeaky image of Apple and everything. And yeah, just like one of those CEOs who's kind of moving in silence, right? And for him to be owning crypto and cryptos and holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, it does beg the question, like, who else is holding? If
Hmm.
Tim Cook from Apple is holding, it's not a stretch to imagine there are loads of other industry leaders or institutional investors holding these assets. And what does that say about cryptos?
Hmm.
I have my thoughts, but what do you think, Elias?
Well, I think it's important for the crypto space for kind of these figureheads of, the tech industry to say that it's a reasonable part of a diversified portfolio. That's like the main, like, let's say, let's look at it from purely an investment perspective. I think that's a very good establishing of like the ethos of the crypto space. I think at the same time, it's unfortunate that Apple doesn't have any plans to join all the companies that added crypto to their portfolio. But um, yeah, I think it's a very, in a way, from an investment perspective, I think it's very interesting that he's New York Times Deal Book Online Summit where Tim Cook announced this.
Mhm.
He said, well, it's reasonable to own it as a diversified portfolio. He didn't talk about utility. He didn't talk about the future of decentralized finance, anything like that, but purely as an investment good.
Mhm.
And I think that, well, yeah, from an investment point of view, that's pretty nice. But I would want to see these kind of figureheads to discuss it more as a tool, as a replacement for traditional financial services, and less of purely, oh, it's a nice thing that appreciates in value,
Right.
you know.
I mean,
So,
maybe he doesn't want to share too much, you know? Maybe
mhm.
like he's in it and he's exploring the space, you know, but he doesn't necessarily want to share too much because like it's a competitive, you know. Maybe Apple, you know, Apple got into like what's it called when self-driving cars, right? Out of the blue. I
Yeah.
would never have expected Apple to jump into the, auto driving industry, but you know
Hmm.
they did. And what's to say Apple might not be, conjuring up their own metaverse, you know, to rival Facebook. You know, it's the battle of the Web 2 metaverses, which would be crazy. But
That would be pretty.
it could happen. Like we've seen crazier things happen in the space. So I think it's a good indication that at least these big players have their eye on the space, you know, and that maybe they're playing coy.
Exactly, and this
Yeah.
is also what the Discord CEO did. He was, I think, he was a bit frustrated with how fast the integration of MetaMask onto his platform was going.
Hmm.
Discord, he teased a MetaMask integration for the service, and it got, well, overall from the
Hmm.
community, kind of mixed reactions, because some people say, oh, NFTs are tax evasion, which it can be a fair point. Let's not lie,
But
because
every
art has
asset can
always
be
been.
used to evade taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but art especially
Yeah,
has been a
sure.
very effective way for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Um, but I see what you mean here with the Web 2.0 metaversification. Let's just, I don't know, let's call it that,
Hmm.
because if MetaMask integrates to Discord, you have another social media service which will apply
Hmm.
cryptocurrency and, integrate with kind of Web 2.5, if you can call that,
Right.
like the move from 2.0 to 2.3.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
What do you think about this
it's
this move?
it's interesting because like Discord to me and like services like Twitter are
Hmm.
in to me are like a different part of Web 2, which is just a bit more crypto friendly, you know,
Yeah.
like and crypto minded, or you know, like Discord is such an integral tool for DAOs, for the whole crypto
Hmm.
space. Like everybody uses Discord, everyone uses, Twitter, you know,
Yeah.
it's just and you know, CEO of Twitter is very crypto friendly. So these there's feel like there are two types of Web 2 companies. Ones that
Hmm.
are like more prone, or more, is that the word, maybe not, more prone to like the crypto blockchain space, and like, you know, being in line with their principles, and you know, like something like a Discord adopting, you know, integrating MetaMask. I think it's great because it's already a tool that people use and is, you know, in the crypto blockchain space. So like having some more crypto blockchain integration would be great, you know. It's like, just because it's a centralized company or Web 2 company doesn't mean that it doesn't mean it's a like a bad thing that we should stay away from, right? Because there are loads
Yeah.
of Web 2 services which, you know, are great, and like, you know, will integrate into, well, there are loads of you know, projects in blockchain crypto which are centralized, and we still use them, you know, and it's awesome,
Hmm.
you know,
No,
as long
absolutely.
as they're in line with, you know, the principles that we all like in the space, you know. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of my 2 cents. So, and then you have the other, you know, Web 2 companies, which are like Facebook, who are trying to, you know, co-opt, you know, these cool things that we're doing in crypto and blockchain, and make it their own, and you know, Web 2ify it, which is kind of the wrong direction which we want to be going, right?
Exactly. But I think, there's this Ford,
Mhm.
Henry Ford stated, right? If I asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. And I
Right.
think that the approach that some of these companies who Web 2ify their
Hmm.
services take is to kind of give the consumer a faster horse, or like a car disguised as a faster
Right.
horse, kind of to make it accessible.
Mhm.
I get the perspective, but I don't think it's very beneficial to like the innovation,
Mhm.
right?
No,
But I
exactly.
think indeed you have these Web 2.0 services like Discord, and I think Discord already kind of features that they have like bots that allow for crypto transactions to happen through commands.
Mhm.
So basically, you link your Discord account to a MetaMask or something via a bot. Someone sends like tip
Mhm.
person blah 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 amount of whatever token is native to kind of
Yeah.
the Discord. A lot of DAOs do
Yeah.
this as a reward for services provided, and then you get some cryptocurrency sent to your account.
I mean, a lot of
Uh,
projects that have Discord servers, they use this Discord bot called Collabland, which basically
yes.
checks your MetaMask or your wallet, and sees whether you have particular assets or not, and that enables you to have different features and different permissions on the Discord, which is very cool because it again, ideally you probably want people for some projects you want people who are able to access the server to be people who actually use your services, who are part of the community. Like Axie
Hmm.
Infinity, for example, has like reached the total server membership cap like several times. It's one of the biggest servers in the
Yeah.
world, right? And how are they supposed to prune, who should actually have access to this you know to the server? And it's
Hmm.
probably those who own Axies and all these things, so they have this collabland bot in their server to act and where you can connect your MetaMask, and then you know so I think
Yeah.
blockchain integration in on Discord is happening, that like these bots exist, but further MetaMask integration I think is a welcome thing.
No, exactly. And I think the trend we now see is a lot of industry leaders
Mhm.
being pro crypto, owning crypto.
Yeah.
But I think that the direction we're going into, and this is following the ENS airdrop,
Mhm.
is crypto holders owning the industry. So,
Right.
what do I mean by that? This DAOification. So, a lot of people, or a lot of these projects, are issuing their own native token in order to give voting rights to the community, and more the ownership of the platform is getting decentralized.
Mhm.
Now, what do you think about this, especially in light of the ENS airdrop, which goes from kind of like hierarchical
Mhm.
management onto a DAO structure of decentralized equal kind of membership?
Yeah, I think this is amazing, and it's going to be a continuing trend because more and more projects are doing it, and it's beneficial to do so. Like
Hmm.
it's so much more beneficial. People, things that succeed in future, I think, will be things that are owned in a distributed, decentralized way.
Hmm.
And it's very possible to be a productive you know uh project that's contributing to the space and be governed in a decentralized, autonomous way. And a lot of projects, maybe to begin with, they were born out of a more centralized constitution of a team or whatever. But then
Hmm.
ultimately, like, this team is willing to give it up to the community for a large number of people to benefit and contribute to what's like. It's amazing that like a web naming service, like a domain service like ENS, which is just an I mean owning an ENS domain is going to be incredibly valuable now, and like even more so in the future. To own or to be part of a DAO,
Yeah.
uh, the ENS DAO, which is what they've become essentially, is
Hmm.
incredibly valuable. And to have a governance say by owning this token is incredibly powerful when you think of, like, this is essentially your ownership of something that's going to be huge. And the way they've distributed this governance, and the way they've decentralized their structures through this airdrop mechanism, which is possible in the blockchain space. So this
Yeah.
was huge topic that people were tweeting about. It was ENS's airdrop, which was done really well, I think, and it basically rewards those who've owned a ENS name prior to October 31st, and
Yeah.
it rewards the ENS token depending on how much you've owned it, how long you've owned it, and there are several multipliers. But basically, yeah, they gave hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of ENS tokens, which was life changing for a lot of people, but is, I think, representative of a change of decentralizing, governance structures, how projects and companies are, moving in this trend of decentralization. And we've seen not just ENS do it, but we've seen projects like Maker do it. We've seen projects like Gitcoin do it. And I think more and more companies, if they don't start off as DAOs, will
Yeah.
eventually DAO-ify, and it's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that's also what these market leaders are kind of feeling,
Hmm.
like in their gut feeling.
Yeah,
I think that's why they're starting to tease. Like Jack from Twitter is starting to say, "Oh, we should integrate an Ethereum basis for Twitter, blah blah blah, or a Bitcoin." Sorry.
Bitcoin. But
Yeah,
NFT verification.
and NFT verification, indeed. So I think that's the kind of trend we're seeing. I think that's kind of the way that a lot of these market leaders are dealing with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think that kind of sums up this episode. We're moving, or we're
Bullish.
seeing, yeah, and we're seeing a move from hierarchical organizations to DAOs.
Mhm.
So with that said, of course, none of the topics we addressed and the information we provided was investment advice. But we will see you in the next episode of the Block Exploring podcast.
Take it easy.
Tune in next week and take it easy.